recording. Hello, I'm Justin, aka 3 a.m. or Justin 3 a.m. depending on the day. And this is my Serge modular and other assorted modular synths together. Let me. So what you were hearing is this system right here in a feedback patch. So I have a old paper-face Serge system from the early 80s alongside a more modern Serge system from Random Source. And they work very happily together, making burbling noises and bleeps and bloops. So the Serge modular was originally developed by a man named Serge+friends, and with Rich Gold and Randy Cohen, I believe. And in fact, there's a really amazing book about Serge modular systems called the Gold Book. And if you guys would like, you can pass this around. I actually have 2 copies. Be careful with this one because it's falling apart, but if you want to check that out, you can pass it around. So yeah, so that's a early 80s system, 2010s system. These are STS modulars, Serge transform systems, built by a guy named Rex Probe. And these were made in the mid-early 90s in Oakland. And then this panel is from around the same time as the Paperface panel. And this one is DIY. In fact, a lot of the system was either built by myself or a good friend of mine, Tim Johnston. And these Eurorack modules, which have been bananified, were DIY. These Random Source modules are DIY, as were these. This is Bug Brand modular from the UK. And it's in FRAC rack format. This system is also FRAC rack format, mostly Blacet modules, and this noise ring is from Wired. Enough of the chit chat about the system. Why don't I go ahead and start making some sounds? So Serge modulars have like here's an oscillator. You can hear the sound of the oscillator. And it's got kind of like a variable wave shape going on. But honestly, the oscillators are not one of the most interesting sound sources in Serge. I frequently use these dual universal slope generators. And they can make a sound that is more like solid. And then I can use it to trigger another dual universal slope generator, which is also running at audio rate. And come back here. Now it's got like kind of a wave shape going on. You have your pitch down here. And your wave shape. And here I can oscilloscope so you can kind of see the wave shape. You see it kind of halves in frequency as I change the wave shape. And the reason that is because these Serge going to use this envelope as... Oh, yeah, I'm sure I am. So I'm going to use this envelope as another wave shaper. And so what I'm doing here is the sustain stage on this ADSR. It will give you a fixed voltage without hitting it with a gate, just because that gate input is held high as long as there's nothing connected to it. And so when I connect a signal to modulate that sustain level, it creates a new wave shape. And as I change the decay time, the sound. So that's some interesting things with envelopes. So now I'm going to show you something interesting about Serge filters. So of course, I can use this filter. I'm going to use this VCF-Q here, the variable Q VCF. It has voltage control for the amount of resonance. And sure enough, I connect an oscillator to the audio input of that filter. And everybody's heard that sound. Pretty meaty. I really like the sound of this filter. And here's the bandpass output, because I like the sound of that too. But the most interesting thing to me about the VCF-Q is this trigger input. Something that you don't see on most filters. And what that does is it gives you this nice ping sound when a gate hits it. And the Q, the resonance control, controls how long that it rings out. And so here I can connect the output of this noise ring to the volt octave input of, I'll use this, and then I'll clock the noise ring with same signal. Gives you a nice little sequence going on there. Yeah, and so that's the VCF-Q. And let's see here. I'm gonna something else. Now that I've freed up the adjustable CV input, I'm going to connect a precision VCO to that for some nice FM. And I'll use the same volt octave signal to control And this is just an absolutely fantastic percussion generator. One of my favorites. I can also, instead of using an FM signal, I can use that envelope. Oops. That's what I wanted. There we go. Gives me a really nice kick sound using an envelope to control the pitch of that VCFQ into toms, that kind of thing. So it's another